Participant Sophia argues for charter schools, vouchers when built with strong quality controls. Mia argues cautious against broad expansion without guardrails. Sophia, let's begin with what the strongest causal studies tell us. When students win charter lotteries in places like Boston, their test scores jump substantively, not marginally. Those aren't boutique case studies, they're large, transparent designs. Add to that system-wide reforms like New Orleans' post-Katrina charter model, where achievement and attainment moved up. And choice can also push nearby public schools to improve through competition. Mia, but that's only half the picture. When states scale vouchers quickly and invite any private school that meets minimal thresholds, you can get negative impacts for the very students you want to help. The clearest example is Louisiana's early years. Random assignment to vouchers led to sizable test score declines. Indiana's program also saw math losses for students who switched. So the question isn't choice or no choice, it's quality-assured choice or chaos. Sophia agreed that quality matters. The urban no-excuses charters embedded longer days, tutoring, and data-driven instruction with real accountability. Families chose them and they delivered. We can design vouchers and charters so they mimic that. Performance contracts, transparent results, and exit for chronic low performers. Choice then becomes a mechanism to scale effective models instead of propping up weak ones. Mia, the accountability claim is where the rubber meets the road. In theory, contracts and dashboards fix everything. In practice, states often lack the capacity and sometimes the will to close low performers. Meanwhile, transportation and information frictions mean that real choice is uneven. More advantaged families sort into the best options. Disadvantaged families face wait lists, lotteries, and long commutes. Sophia, which is exactly why unified enrollment systems and public report cards matter. If families can compare programs side by side and submit a single application, the information gap narrows. And if authorizers publish growth measures, subgroup results, and special education services, low-quality schools can't hide. The point is to build infrastructure so the benefits from Boston-style charters aren't one-offs. Mia, infrastructure helps, but selection remains. Even with lotteries, schools can shape their offerings. Discipline codes, extracurriculars, subtle signals that steer away students who are harder or costlier to serve. Without strong oversight on admissions, discipline, and services, the system risks concentrating challenges in the remaining public schools. Sophia, then write those protections into the rules. Weighted lotteries for underserved students, backfill requirements so schools take mid-year entrants, transparent discipline data, and auditable special education provision. Also, fund transportation and enforce common application deadlines. We know the pitfalls, we can design around them. Mia, design can mitigate, but we should be honest about trade-offs. If a voucher program pulls students into private schools that aren't subject to state testing or teacher licensure, you can end up with less transparency just where you need more. Some private schools deliver excellent outcomes, others don't. The early voucher evidence that went sour wasn't an accident. It was a symptom of weak vetting and limited information. Sophia, that's why modern voucher proposals increasingly require state tests and public reporting as conditions of participation. If a school refuses to test and report, it shouldn't take public funds. I'm not arguing for blank checks, I'm arguing for the right to exit a failing school and to know in advance whether the destination is actually effective. Mia, let's talk outcomes beyond test scores. Supporters love big math/ELA gains, but parents care about safety, engagement, and long-run attainment. On attainment, the evidence is mixed. Some programs show college enrollment bumps, others show no change. On climate, there are improvements in some settings, worse fit in others. When the evidence is mixed, we should be cautious about sweeping expansions and focus on lifting quality in all sectors. Sophia, fair. That's why I'd pair choice with sector-agnostic quality investments, tutoring, curriculum, instructional coaching, available to district schools and charters. Give families options and improve the default. The point of charters is to be R&D for the system. Try new models, scale what works, retire what doesn't. Mia, I like the R&D framing, but R&D requires shutting down failed experiments. In education, closures are painful and political. Communities lose neighborhood anchors. Kids get displaced midstream. If authorizers won't close schools, the theoretical benefits never materialize. So before expanding, I want to see authorizers willing and funded to make hard calls. Sophia, then build that capacity in statute. Clear renewal metrics, automatic review triggers for persistent low growth, and transition plans that place students in higher performing schools with transportation guaranteed. Also, grow seats in proven models before experimenting widely. We're not condemned to repeat early mistakes. Mia, another concern is fiscal externalities. If public dollars follow students, districts can face stranded costs, fixed expenses that don't shrink one for one as enrollment falls. That can degrade services for the students who remain, especially those with higher needs. Sophia, transitional aid can smooth those shocks, temporary backfills while districts right-size facilities. And districts can respond too, replicate successful models, adopt tutoring and longer days, and use data aggressively. In many cities, the district's best options now look a lot like the high-performing charters. Mia, here's where we converge. Families deserve better than a single assignment based on ZIP code. But if we expand choice, we owe them information, transportation, special education safeguards, and a serious quality floor. Without those, we may simply reshuffle students while deepening inequities. Sophia, and my convergence is this: charters and vouchers are tools, not ends. Used with strong guardrails, they expand access to effective schools and push systems to improve. Used loosely, they can harm participants and sow mistrust. So set the rules right, measure honestly, and be willing to intervene. Mia, then let's write a joint checklist: common, transparent performance metrics across sectors, weighted lotteries, backfill, and SPED/ELL protections, transportation and unified enrollment to reduce friction, authorizers funded and obligated to close chronic low performers, transitional finance to protect students in district schools, continuous evaluation of attainment and non-test outcomes. Sophia, add, expand what works. High-dosage tutoring, effective curricula, teacher coaching, no matter the governance model. If a district school delivers Boston charter-level growth, scale it. If a charter does, scale it. Families win when we're pragmatic. Mia, exactly. The goal isn't to crown a sector, it's to give every student a real shot at an effective, safe, and engaging school. Choice can help, but only if the state does its job. Sophia, then we agree on the destination. Let's make the architecture worthy of the promise and let data, not ideology, decide what grows and what goes.